Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be taking an exclusive look at a brand new pressure washer from AVA. Now, to keep you up to speed with the previous video, we covered the P70, and within that video I was blown away by most of its features. However, there were a couple of niggly issues. For example, the 8-meter hose simply wasn't quite long enough, and then we had the foam cannon. Brilliant quality foam, but it was getting through too much product. And I told AVA this, but boy did they come back with a response.
Welcome to the newest member of the AVA family. Explore an easier way of cleaning and say goodbye to compromising on a budget. Say hello to the new Easy P57.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the features. For starters, it's called the Easy, which means AVA's main focus here is practicality, and you'll find that it's an ultra lightweight, sleek, portable design, and it's compact so you can move it to various locations, which means that this pressure washer is a lot more manageable than some of the larger models.
The shape of it looks more pleasing too, and it looks more tidier than the Smart P60.
The next thing that I have to draw your attention to is the new handles and hand placements here. Look at this, talk about thinking about absolutely everything. I mean, it's a light machine anyway, but come on. Just doing that alone is easy. That's a really clever design. But if you think this handle's good, wait till you see this one. We're going to tilt the machine, press the button in, pull it out, fold it. Within seconds, we now have another handle, and you can move it around. It's simply brilliant. If anything, AVA should have called this one the Evolution.
And it gets better, because the days of short hoses are a thing of the past, as this particular model boasts a whopping 12-meter flexi hose.
So it's looking pretty good for the P57, but now I want to take a look at some of the accessories that are included with this bundle. So we're going to start off with the trigger. Now, as you could probably tell, it's a slightly slimmed down, lighter version compared to the one featured with the P70. And as always, it's going to connect up to your lance, and it's the extendable lance that you will find with all the other premium models as well, which means you are not missing out. You also get two nozzles. You get your patio nozzle and you get your Vario nozzle, and that basically gives you a couple of different settings for when you're washing your car, if you want a wider fan or a narrow fan, or you can have both at the same time.
You also get a slimmed down patio tool, which yet again means it's lighter and easier to store away.
For those of you detailers out there or people who enjoy washing your cars, you can relax, because they've finally got rid of the old cannon and they're giving us a premium spec foam cannon. It's going to perform exactly the same way that you would get with this one. However, you're going to get a smaller beaker. That is the only difference. The quality of the foam is still going to be there, and the consumption is going to be bang on, so it's not going to be wasting any product either.
And in the previous videos, I've been using the premium foam cannon, and it produces a nice thick blanket of foam, which can easily compete with more of the expensive cannons. So this is just fantastic news for those weekend warriors who just want to give their car a deeper clean, but they don't want to fork out on an additional cannon, because it all adds up in the long run. But anyway, it's time to get this outside and put it to the test with a quick wash on a VW Golf. And I think the thing I'm most curious about is the hose, because this is a first for AVA. All the previous models before came with a steel reinforced hose, and this is just a flexi hose, but it doesn't necessarily mean it won't be as good. Before you use any pressure washer, it's always a good idea to run the water through the hose without the trigger on, and this is just to remove any possible risk of airlocks. Once the system was clear and the hose was fully unravelled, I tried to yank on it to see how the teeth would grip into the concrete. And despite its lightweight design, it did a good job, to be fair. With the first test sorted, it's time to get connected and switch it on. And I had a few requests in my other videos asking me to demonstrate the sound of the pressure washer. So here it goes. The first part of the clean was on the wheels, and I'm using the narrow 20-degree setting here just to shift off some of the worst of the dirt. Another awesome feature with all the models is the quick connect. You can easily turn a normal standard lance into a stubby gun in the matter of seconds, and this meant that I could tackle the wheel arches with no problems too. This VW Golf had a citrus pre-wash prior to the pressure washer, hence the added bite you can see in the footage when the water hits the panels. But honestly, I was impressed with how powerful it was, and for most of you, especially the weekend warriors out there, this would definitely be plenty good enough. As always, the extendable lance is a real game changer as it saves you time reaching across the other side of the car, and it reduces the risk of getting wet as you can keep a safe enough distance from the splashback. However, I know some of you just love a stubby gun, and it does have its place, especially with things like the door shuts. I also thought I'd take this opportunity to try out the angled lance and the flexi lance for the underneath. So now I wanted to try something a little bit different with a foam cannon, as I've already featured the premium model in the past few videos, so I thought this time round I'd see how it would work if I used car shampoo instead of snow foam. And there is another reason why I've done this, because I want to show you weekend warriors out there that you don't need every single chemical for each job. You can get away with using car shampoo as a cheaper alternative. So I managed to get around the whole car twice before I ran out of shampoo, and I wasn't exactly rushing around either. So for most of you, you'll probably only use around half a bottle per car on average, maybe slightly less if you've got a good rhythm. For rinsing the shampoo or foam off the car, I recommend switching to the 60-degree nozzle, as it covers more space in a quicker time, and if you clean soft tops, then I recommend taking off the nozzles altogether so it just trickles out of the lance just to avoid causing any damage. Whilst I'm just washing this car, I thought I'd quickly point out these cool buckets, because they got grit guards inside that fold up so you can store away your bottles, and they also come with a lid which has been designed to be used as a step as well. As a tool for car cleaning, it's fair to say the P57 has performed brilliantly, but we also have a new lighter patio tool to try. And because it's lighter, you will notice that it practically glides along the surface, a bit like a hovercraft. And it was plenty good enough outside the unit, but any tougher spots were easily tackled with the smaller patio nozzle. The thing about patio cleaning is it can take an awfully long time for some of you, so having a decent trigger is essential, and this zero force trigger could be the answer you're looking for.
So let me explain. So basically, after a prolonged period of time, you are going to suffer the occasional achy hand using a normal trigger. However, to compensate that, AVA are giving you a second trigger, and it's this little black one here. So when you release the green handle, you'll keep your finger on the black one, and now we have full control of all the water coming out with one finger instead of using 4 fingers. So all in all, I thought this was a well-built, well-rounded machine. Now when you compare it to the likes of say a Karcher K5, on paper it's going to have the same bar pressure and it's going to have the same flow rate. And not only have they matched it, they've obliterated it with all these different accessories. When you look at the patio cleaner, the premium foam cannon, the extendable lance, the stubby gun and the 12-meter hose, it's simply unbeatable. But AVA have still not stopped there, because now they've gone for something a little bit different. If you find that this is out of your price range, it's slightly over budget, they now make a cheaper version of this, being the Easy P40. Now you're going to find that you get all the same accessories that you would with this one. The only difference is you're going to get less flow rate and you're going to get a lower bar pressure. So look, I know that the P57 is definitely no P70, but it's a lot closer than you think. And I'm not talking about the power and the flow rate or anything like that. We're going to put that to one side for a minute, because they make up for it in so many other ways. For example, the P57 weighs half of the P70. Also, the hose on the P57 is 12 meters. The hose on the P70 is 8 meters. And you know what? I don't care if this is a flexi hose, because I had no problems with it whatsoever. We then talk about the foam cannon. You get a basic foam cannon with the P70. You then get a premium cannon with the P57. You can see where I'm going here. It's not all about power and performance. It's about the whole all-rounded package. And this is why I like the P57. Anyway, if you are on the lookout for a brand new pressure washer and you want to perhaps try an AVA or an Ilfisk or even a Karcher, then I have a dedicated playlist that you can go and watch right here.